I'm a female writer, and what's interesting about the wizarding world is when you take physical strength out of the equation, a woman can fight just the same as a man can fight. A woman can do magic just as powerfully as a man can do magic. And I consider that I've written a lot of well-rounded female characters in these books. As an author, none of the women ever gave me trouble, actually. It was always the men that gave me trouble, never the women. But Harry came to me as Harry, and I never wanted to change that. Because switching gender isn't simply putting a dress and a pretty name on a boy, is it? A lot of preoccupations and expectations are different on men and women, and so the books would have been incredibly different, I think.
Considering the protagonist is a male, I don't think it was so obvious at the beginning that she very much wanted to portray her female characters as very strong-willed and sort of admirable, but as the films went on, I think you can really see it.
It's interesting for me with Harry because throughout the series he is so much a boy in search of a father, and yet at these times of real stress it's his mother that's a place of refuge. And I think that it's not very hard to see the reason why. My mother died 6 months into the writing of Harry Potter, and I became a mother to a daughter. So I just suppose that as a woman and as a daughter, maybe I feel that that's a form of love that doesn't get explored as much as it should do, given that it's in it's so formative in everyone's life, for good or for ill. Funnily enough, I founded a charity called Lumos, which is about institutionalized children, largely in Eastern Europe. And some of the many disturbing things I found out from being involved closely with that charity is how much measurable brain damage is done when a child is taken from its mother and placed in an institution. And when I say measurable, you can scan the brain and you will see that pathways haven't been made, and you can never get that back. So in fact, what I wrote about Harry having been incredibly loved in his earliest days is measurably true. That will literally have given him protection that no one can undo. His brain will have developed in a way that Voldemort's brain didn't, because Voldemort was from the moment of his birth institutionalized. So I suppose, yeah, Lily was representative of safety in a way that a father couldn't be, because he's constantly told, you look just like your father, he's got to live up to the expectations of his father, his father, his father. But Lily is something different. Lily's the person who stood by the cot and tried to stop her baby dying.
Harry, Mama loves you. Harry, be safe.
So yes, mother love is hugely important in the books.
Red, you next.